The city of Pickering, home to almost 100,000 people, our little city just east of Toronto, has always been a bit of a low-key place. It's been a classic suburb with quaint communities of single-family homes mostly, that is, until recently. Today, the city of Pickering is changing, and it's changing quite dramatically. I know many of us have heard of a condo project or two around here, but the reason I'm making this video is because I need to communicate to everyone just how drastic this change actually is. My name is Fahad, and I run a real estate team called the Next Gen Team. We have done an independent investigation into what's to come in the next few years, and the result of this has been mind-blowing for everybody involved. Pickering's skyline is about to transform with the addition of 75 towers. 75 new buildings either proposed or already under construction. 75. And most of them are pretty tall towers. I mean, can you believe that? We're not talking about 10 or 20 or 30 towers, even though 20 or 30 towers for Pickering would be a huge deal. We're talking about 75, folks. That is crazy. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through and show you exactly what is to come and in which locations, so you can get an understanding of just how insane this upcoming urbanization of Pickering is going to be. I'm a real estate broker by profession, and I've called Pickering home for most of my life, so this is stuff I've been following for quite some time, and to see it all come together is really, really exciting and also crazy. So without further ado, let's dive on into the projects and see what the future holds. Let's start with Universal City. Now, many of you are going to be familiar with Universal City because they've already broken ground here. Universal City is the largest development of its kind in Durham region. Behind me here is Tower 1, which is going to start occupying in just 2022. And they've also broken ground on Towers 2 and 3, which are going to be rising above ground shortly. Of course, they've also started pre-construction sales of Tower 6, which is Universal City East, and there is a 7th tower to be on the way somewhere. We don't really know many details about that. Now, this location makes them really good because they're steps away from Pickering GO Station, but the real highlight of this development is going to be Towers 4 and 5. Those are going to be built closest to the highway, and they're also going to be the tallest. They're going to set records for the tallest buildings in Durham region, so I'm really excited to see those. Next up is the City Center project. I'm standing in front of Pickering Town Center right now, which is the second largest mall in Durham region. In 2019, they demolished the Sears wing of the mall to make room for what the developers in the city are teaming up to call the City Center Vision. So in total here, there are going to be 11 towers built on these grounds, most of them 30 to 50 stories, so that's pretty major. Phase 1, which is going to be about where I'm standing right now, is going to be a 50-story rental tower, a 4-story new glass library with a green roof and amazing outdoor and indoor spaces, totaling 43,000 square feet of new space for residents to enjoy. There's also going to be a 41,000 square foot seniors and youth center along with a new European-style public square, the first of its kind in Pickering. It's going to host lots of cool events like Christmas markets, farmers markets, and will generally be an amazing and vibrant place to gather in the future city of Pickering. So what is just parking lots right now is going to be the signature 50-story rental tower. Just beside it, the new library, seniors and youth center, and the performing arts center back there. It's hard to fathom that all of this is going to happen right here. We'll put a rendering up on the screen showing the proposed site plan, but basically you are going to have towers everywhere here. It's going to be a 38-story tower in Block 3 with office and residential units, a 46-story tower in Block 4, all residential, a 40-story tower in Block 5, also residential, a 38-story in Block 6, 40-story in Block 7, another 40-story in Block 8, a 40-story tower in Block 9, along with a 10-story hotel, and then 2 towers, 38 and 30 stories in the South Block, which will go down the esplanade on the side here. Guys, the gravity of this cannot be understated. This is going to be so major and so transformative, not just in terms of look and feel and density, but the ground floors of each of these buildings are going to have commercial and retail space. So this is going to be a buzzing hub of activity in the future. So exciting. Now, moving just across the street here, there are 3 plazas that are going to undergo some pretty serious transformations. The one I'm standing in right now is going to have a total of 9 towers, as well as 4 stacked townhome blocks. Can you picture that? Instead of this small little plaza here, 9 towers, ranging from 6 to 25 stories. They're also planning to build a public park, as well as a new roadway for the use and enjoyment of folks in the city. At grade level, there's going to be commercial and retail units with residential units towering up top. The developers are also planning to prioritize bike and pedestrian pathways to kind of reduce the amount of vehicles that are going to be active in the area. So are you starting to see the bigger picture yet? 9 towers here, the mall redeveloped, 7 over there, and we're actually just getting started. There's so many more, so this shows you the gravity of what we're dealing with here. Just down the road here at 1450 Kingston Road, the plaza that right now has the Greek restaurant, pizza, doctor's offices, very beloved to us locals. Unfortunately, this one is also planning to be redeveloped. It's going to be going into 4 mixed-use buildings. The first one's going to be 12 stories. The other ones range from 4 to 15 stories. There's going to be public areas as well, and they're going to build some new private laneways as well as lots of underground parking. And finally, you have the last one here, just adjacent on the other side of Valley Farm Road. The Plaza used to have a Mucho Burrito. There's lots of retail and office space. This is actually proposed to have 4 high-rise towers as well as 4 blocks of stacked townhouses. So it's going to be 4 over here and 4 over there as well. Now on over to the Smart Centers Plaza on Brock and Kingston Road, coming all the way up to Pickering Parkway. Many of you remember this plaza from way back. It used to have a Sam's Club down there, which is now the Lowe's, and it also used to be the Pickering Flea Market. And while that was the history of this plaza, the future of it is quite different. They're going to start out with phase 1 right here, which is going to be 3 towers, okay? A, B, and C, right around where the Mark's Work Warehouse is, where Brock intersects with Pickering Parkway. Tower A will be 25 stories, Tower B will be 28 stories, and Tower C right here is going to be 32 stories tall, right here on Brock and Parkway. Phase 2 is going to be right behind me here where the McDonald's is. That's going to be 2 more towers ranging from 29 to 32 stories. That's going to be phase 2 of this project, but eventually the entire plaza is going to be redeveloped. So where I'm standing right now is going to be a major footprint in the future cityscape of Pickering. Now heading west just a bit here, I'm standing at Liverpool and Highway 401 at the entrance of the Makimono Plaza. Don't worry, Makimono's not going anywhere. We're actually here to talk about a really exciting development. It's been a bit of a buzz lately. It's called Viewpoint Condos. This is a development by Tribute Communities, and it's going to be a really great one. On the lands behind me here, there are going to be 3 residential towers, each 40 stories in height. In total, there will be 1,318 residential units across these 3 towers. That's a lot. Phase 1 is going to be towers A and B connected through a 6-story podium, and phase 2 is going to be a third 40-story tower. All of these are going to have commercial and retail space at grade level, and there are plans to have a daycare here on site as well. Now, you may have seen this rendering here float around online. We're going to try to match that with a drone shot right now to show you that this site is already designated as high-rise residential land as part of the Pickering City Center. But the developers are still trying to get some additional approvals for design changes, which is why we haven't actually seen any renderings of the buildings themselves. There's going to be access to this development not only from Liverpool Road, but also from Walnut Lane, which goes through the Brookdale Center. That's the Home Depot Plaza. That lane is going to be extended, so there's going to be a major access point there as well, which should help a lot with traffic management. Now, these are going for sale pretty soon. The sales launch is expected to be in January, so if you're interested and want to be the first to know, there's a link in the description to register, but don't worry, you can do it at the end of the video because there is still so much to show you. So without further ado, let's move on to the next. All right, guys, this one here is major. I'm standing right now at the site of what was formerly the National Sports, now is a Sport Check, just along Kingston Road, west of White's. This entire plaza is going to be redeveloped in a very major way. We are talking 8 towers ranging from 18 to 42 stories, in total almost 2,900 residential units, as well as almost 4,500 square meters of office space and 2,300 square meters of retail space. There's also going to be 3 parks within the site, lots of parking, as well as a gateway plaza, so this one is going to be insanely big. It's currently in the proposal and planning phase, so we'll hear more about this in times to come. Okay, now what we just went through are some of the major ones. On top of that, we have Durham Live with its 14-story luxury hotel. We've got the Jerry Coughlin Health and Wellness Center on Brock Road North. That's another one. We've got the Liverpool Johns development. That's 2 towers, 13 and 25 stories, with the heritage building still preserved, thankfully. We've got the Highmark Homes development at the corner of Kingston and Guild Road. That's 2 rental towers, 12 stories and 16 stories. 3 more at Brock and Kingston on the northwest corner, also preserving the heritage site. These will be 12, 31, and 34 stories. We've got access condos with 2 there on Pickering Parkway, along with so many others that we just don't have the time to list. But all in all, we get to our insane tower count of 75. So crazy. Now, in many ways, this is exciting and super cool. I mean, we are literally going through a transformation akin to what Mississauga went through in the 90s. But of course, a lot of residents, like my family who live in the area, are concerned about how this will impact things like traffic and general infrastructure. In that regard, the city has actually been quite receptive in hearing from residents through their platform called Let's Talk Pickering. They've got a website, letstalkpickering.ca. I actually participated in a few of their public consultations, and it was great to see residents both excited, yet still weighing in on matters such as traffic, accessibility, safety, and more. So if you're one of these people, I'd encourage you to get in touch with the city on this because they are actually being pretty good about hearing people out. One thing though is very clear, and it has to be said candidly. This is a coming of age for Pickering. We are located right next to a global city, one of the most desirable places to live on the planet and the fastest growing region in North America. We can't escape our fate here, which is to develop into a vibrant, higher density version of the city we were before. We're also in the midst of an unprecedented housing crisis where there are absurdly low levels of inventory, and this is something I see daily. And I know for sure that families would benefit from a market out there with more supply, especially here in Pickering and East End. And that's not just buyers, that's renters too. It's a very tough market right now for both of them. So while we can't escape our coming of age, what we can do is weigh in and try to shape the best city possible. We could also invest in it and own a piece of the future. In any case, I hope you've enjoyed going on this journey with me through the future of Pickering. If you want to get on my email list to be the first to know about Pickering development news, there's a link in the description where you can sign up for free. It'll help you stay up to date along with get first info and access when these projects go out for sale. Also, we'll be making lots more videos like this in the future, so go on ahead and hit that subscribe button to follow along for more Pickering development content. I'm Fahad Raymond of the Next Gen team, signing off, and I will see you all in the next video.